I'd always wanted to be a writer. I used to write a lot at home. I used to write books, sort of adventure books when I was a teenager. I used to sit in my room with a typewriter, which most people don't even know what that is now. But I used to bang away, and I wrote 3 books with the wonderfully outlandish names. The Island of Death. Wonder what that was about. One was called Snow Trek, and the other one was called The Inca Guns, and they were these adventure stories that featured the same people. And I was really into all that, and I used to write these things. And I used to write plays, and I used to write comic sketches that for my friend and I to perform, because we didn't trust anybody else to do it. And the school I went to, which was a state comprehensive near where I grew up, the guy who ran the drama department, they had a drama department. It was a very well-equipped school. We were very lucky. And his name was Des Margetson. And he would ask me to be in plays. And I would always say no. I had no interest in being an actor at all. I just wanted to be a writer. And then one day he came to me, and it was a production of The Rivals by Sheridan that was going to be put on very soon. And he said that one of the actors who was playing Bob Acres, anybody familiar with the play will know who Bob Acres is, comic role, he said, he's ill, and we've got 3 days before it opens. It's one performance. Will you do it? And honestly, to this day, I have no idea why I agreed. Ridiculous thing to do, really. Learn a whole part in 3 days. And I suspect it was because there was a girl in the cast that I was quite keen on. It must have been something like that. Anyway, I agreed and learnt the lines. I don't know if I could learn that now in 3 days, but anyway, I learnt it all, and we did one performance, and because it's a comedy, you get an instant reaction from the audience, and they laughed, and when the show was over, they applauded, and I just thought, oh, this is good. I'm going to enjoy this. So that was it, really. And then I took a year off between school and going to university, and I joined a local amateur dramatics company called the Priory Players out of a church hall in the St. Peter's Church near where I lived. And I would go along there every week, and we would rehearse plays, and we would put them on, and so it went on. And I remember one of the great advantages, I think, of not really knowing any better is that I'd got a place at university, and I wrote to the then principal of RADA to ask whether he would give me a special audition to see whether I was good enough to be a professional actor. And Hugh Crutwell, Sir Hugh Crutwell, and he wrote back, and I've still got the letter. And he wrote back and he said, absolutely, more than happy for you to come in. It's a very difficult profession, etc., 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 but, you know. And so I went in, and he gave me the special audition. At the end of it, he said, well, you would definitely get to the next stage, and beyond that, I don't know, but my advice to you is go to university, get your degree, and then come and see me again when it's finished. And as it turned out, when I finished my degree, in the days they still exist in Scotland, thank goodness, of free university education, my grant had run out. So to go to drama school, I would have had to have paid. And in those days, people didn't pay. It was just ridiculous. So I didn't, and I just went into it myself. I did a one-man play called Crap's Last Take by Samuel Beckett. And I toured it around pubs in London with my then girlfriend who operated the lights. And we would do it sometimes to literally one person to get my equity card. And that's how I started. And I think there were 2 things that I was fortunate with. One being, I suppose, asked to take over in that play. But more than that, I had parents who never said that I couldn't do it. My dad was worried because, you know, he was a working class Scots man who, you know, did an apprenticeship. Why would you become an actor? But he never said no, and my mother never said no. I was lucky with that. And I was lucky that nobody tried to tread on those dreams, to say no, because I think one of the great things about being young is that you take risks. And, you know, I'd be lying to say that acting is not a risky occupation. But I think nowadays, even more than when I was young, most jobs are risky occupations. So I think acting and other professions have sort of evened out in those terms. And I think, you know, the best advice I can ever give anyone about acting, which is what I know about, is you have to really want to do it. Same with anything, I suppose. You have to really want to do it. And other than that, just practice it. You know, do it for free. Do fringe shows, all of that sort of thing. And it's been a great career for me so far, and I've enjoyed it very much. Made some great friends, and I'm glad that Des Margetson asked me to do that play.